Yeah.
Um, Thanks, Stacy. I appreciate it. I hope you all can see the screen that I'm sharing. It's a short presentation. I hope it'll be short about inclusive pathways to success, which is a trade school. We are in Arlington, Virginia, and we're a trade school that trains young adults from the ages of 21 to 36 who have developmental disabilities for careers in the skilled trades by offering tailored instruction taught by a team of trade teachers like Renee and special educators. So I will introduce myself and then Renee can introduce himself. My name is Nina Narayana Chernoff, and I created IPS. My son Dylan has autism and he's 18, and I'm hoping that one day he can come to the school and learn a skilled trade. So, Renee, I'll turn it over to you.
How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just
Yes.
fixed that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm the construction teacher. I love teaching. I've been doing construction for a pretty long time now. About 7 years in painting, 10 years in total with construction. That's a little bit about me, and I've taught people from ages 12 all the way up to 60 years old. So pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Renee is awesome.
Oh, shucks, I'm too old.
Okay.
Next
Okay.
slide.
Thank you. Renee, I'll take the column on the right, and you can talk about the other part. So, what makes IPS unique? It's a trade school that basically does not exist anywhere else in our country. We basically I created this school so that we could offer a small group of students instruction in how to become a tradesperson in an inclusive learning environment that was basically set up for their needs. And what really makes IPS unique is that we focus not only on teaching students a trade, but we also teach them something called soft skills. And you probably know what I'm talking about, but it's things that help you succeed in the workplace, like learning how to be a professional, learning how to be punctual and reliable, learning how to communicate with your supervisor and your teammates effectively. And Renee will tell you about the other things that make us unique here at IPS.
So we do job assistance and alumni support, three-person teaching team, so multiple people in the room, extra time for intervention and enrichment. Um, it's a little bit unique stuff about IPS.
Yeah. So Renee has a counterpart who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. Her name is Lauren Pierre. She's our special education teacher. And we also will have a classroom aide who will go into the workshop with Renee and into the classroom with our teacher to help support students.
Awesome.
Okay. So this is the program that we want to tell everyone about tonight. And this is our 2025 Construction and Job Readiness Program. Basically, this is a program that uses a curriculum um, that has been used all over the country by vocational programs and high schools that teaches students about basic construction skills in order to get them into entry level construction jobs. Um, because of Renee's wonderful experiences, we can also offer students a lot of different opportunities to expand their skills. And Renee can talk about that a little bit and what type of
Mhm.
job outcomes he expects students to pursue as a result of that.
So, as far as the job industry goes, they can go ahead and pursue something as far as like painting, plastering, drywall, maybe even framing. They can be a helper if they want. they can learn how to communicate with other people, with clients. There's endless of what you can do in the construction world. You can do even a helper as an electrician, somebody who does concrete work. Basically, if you want to start your own business, you can as well. You can be a handy person for your own home. That's where you can start, and then you can proceed with like helping out in other people's home. And also, we do have connections with Sherwin Williams, and Sherwin Williams, they're a company that sells paint. And if somebody is interested in wanting to work there, we can help them get a job there as well. Even Home Depot,
Mhm.
Lowe's, places like that.
Yeah, so I think that's a good, it gives you all sort of an idea of the varied job goals that students will have in the program and how we customize instruction for a student based upon their career goal, which we'll talk a little bit more about in detail later in this presentation. So, what does this program actually look like? Well, it's a 5-month program. So that's 20 weeks. We
Hmm.
intend to get started in June and end by Halloween. And it would be in a all day school experience. Students would come to us from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. They have an hour for lunch. So it's a 6-hour school day. And they alternate between lessons in construction and workplace readiness. The construction instruction takes place in our workshop, which is about, I would say, 1,800 square feet. It's a pretty huge room. And we have work tables set up for each student. And Renee will go through different parts of our curriculum. Renee, would you like to talk about the different things that you'll cover?
Yeah. So we'll talk about safety. We'll introduce hand tools and power tools. We'll introduce on how to be safe with them. We'll be able to show them how to use properly use a power tool and a hand tool. We'll also introduce them to construction math. It's a bit different, but it will help them to be able to make cuts properly, be able to measure a room, materials handling as well. So how to properly lift a material, and if the material has something on there that says it's for two people, we want everybody to know that it's okay to ask for help. Construction drawings. So if somebody wants to draw out a room and create something, we can go ahead and do that as well. And then we will go ahead and introduce them into concrete as well.
Yeah, I wanted to address that. We cover concrete because we have a corporate sponsor called Hensel Phelps, which has given us money for this program, but they've also pledged to offer 1 or 2 students who complete this program a job at one of their work sites here in our area. If that is the student's goal, obviously we have to have students who want full-time employment in order to take advantage of that generous offer, but there might be 1 or 2 students in the program who are actually pursuing that. Okay, so a few more details about the program. Okay, so I'll cover this, and this is basically the topics that are covered by our special education teacher, Lauren Pierre. And she will teach the students these various skills because this is what we really feel will help a student get employment and stay employed because that is the goal, that they come to IPS with a career goal in mind and that we help them achieve that goal, but also help them be successful once they are there. Renee mentioned how we provide job assistance. So, depending upon the student's career goal, we will help them get a job. But in order to make them as successful as possible, we want to really allow them to put their best foot forward. So we talk about communication, employability. We talk about strategies to maintain your mental health, maintain your physical health, which is really important when you're working in the trades, how to be a professional, career and life management, and then getting a job, things like resumes and cover letters and job interviewing. So we try to really, really, truly prepare students for what the workplace will look like, what by taking them through role plays and scripts so that we practice all of these things in a practical sense and not just cover it academically. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Sorry. Okay. So here's just a few more details that we wanted to offer. Renee, would you like to talk about the professional certifications?
Yeah, so a professional certification is OSHA 10. So they'll be able to take the test and we'll go over it with them so that they can be able to get the best results out of the test. Also, they will be going through a first aid CPR certifications. So we don't expect everybody to pass them all, but we will try our best as to get them certified.
Sorry, did someone have a question? Sorry, I thought I heard somebody. Yeah, and I'm sorry, do you want to talk about the CBIs?
Yeah, community-based instruction. So we will be going on field trips to construction sites, which is a lot of fun. Get out of the area, be able to see how a job is in the real world, be able to have a preview of these jobs and see how these construction workers are safe in their workplace, how they are able to use the equipment properly. So if anybody has any questions, the field trips would probably be filled with them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then job assistance, alumni support, job matching, providing employer sensitivity training, and host monthly alumni support group as well.
Yeah, and so I'll expand on that a little bit. I feel that the recipe towards helping young people who fit, IPS in terms of being successful is not only giving them customized training, but also supporting them in an ongoing way to help ensure that they are they're successful as possible in the workplace.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Here I go. So this question always comes up, and so we want to obviously address it head on because most people are interested in what type of outcomes they can expect from coming to this program. So this table sort of gives you a sense of potential outcomes, and I'm not saying that every class is going to fit this, but 2 to 3 students may seek full-time or part-time employment. 1 to 2 students may seek an internship, so they wanna get their feet wet, perhaps by working for a home builder or working for a painting company. The list goes on and on. We can help set that up.
Mhm.
Self-entrepreneurship. Perhaps somebody wants to become a woodworker, and we offer our workshop as a makerspace, so that, alumni can come and build products that they can then sell either, on their own or through IPS. And then, 0 to 1 students, they might need additional support even after leaving the program, which could look like job coaching, perhaps coming through the program another time. There are different outcomes that we might see with students.
Yep.
So, okay, we're getting close to the end. Okay, so we always like to talk about what the application involves because it is a process, and
Mhm.
we just like to give some folks a heads up. we have an online application, which requires a letter of diagnosis. We accept students who have intellectual impairment, autism spectrum disorder, severe ADHD, or severe learning disabilities. So we want proof of diagnosis. And then we'd like for an applicant to identify what their needs are, as well as a career goal, a predicted career goal. At that time, our team will screen the application and ask any follow-up questions. And then, Renee, would you like to talk about 3 and 4?
Yeah, so in-person assessment conducted by OT and construction teacher between 2 and 3 hours. Notification. So notifications by email, phone, creation of individualized training program as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Hmm.
So just to round out what the application asks, a lot of people like to know, we want to get a sense of an applicant's strengths. We always operate by talking about a student's strengths at IPS. We want to find that out. Want to check to have you tell us about school and work experience, like what did you do after high school? And then your support needs. We really want an applicant to identify what their support needs are, because that's, helping them with their self advocacy goal, which most every student will have coming into IPS. Self advocacy is really important when you're in the workplace as well. So that's one skill that we work on pretty much every day. We will ask about academic skills, like what math, reading, writing levels an applicant has. We don't have a strict cutoff, but we just like to know going in where student operates. And then health and medications. Okay, so I promised that we would talk about this, and Renee and I will go over this. This is what we referenced in the slide before last. It is sort of akin to an individualized education plan. Those of you who were in public school will probably, that will sound familiar. At IPS, we call it an individualized training plan because it's all about what the plan is to get a student towards, to meet their goal of employment. So this is a sample for Joe Smith.
Mhm.
And his career goal is to work at Sherwin-Williams, which Renee talked about, and he wants to work part-time after leaving IPS. Um, his strengths are he knows a little bit about paint, textures, and techniques. He gets along well with others, and he's a pretty strong self-advocate. His 3 areas of improvement that we need to target at IPS are: he needs help following a visual schedule, he struggles with multi-step tasks, and he needs to build physical endurance in order to meet his career goal. So these benchmarks are direct, basically goals that a student needs to meet in order to meet their career goal. So every student has a safety benchmark. They have to demonstrate the consistent use of safety practices across the entire school day and during field trips. So that means if a student is around power tools, they need to know how to conduct themselves in a safe manner. And then Renee is going to talk about the 2 different skill benchmarks that we have for students.
So we have hard skill, be able to mix the paint using a computer. So at Sherwin Williams, when the customer or the client or even the contractor comes in and orders paint, um, the person on the other side, who would be the person applying for the job, would need to know how to use a computer. The computer, it's fairly easy. The computer has everything already listed on what colors to mix, so it mixes it for you. What they have to know is just what buttons to press so that it gets mixed properly. After it gets mixed, then they put it into another container where it mixes it. Um, it shakes it up basically for them. There are spills that happen. It happens to anybody, and that is okay. But they will learn that as a hard skill. Being knowledgeable about the store's products and their uses is very important, because when somebody walks in and wants to know about texture or about what paint works best in what rooms, or if it's commercial, It's good to be knowledgeable. So there's a lot to learn while you're there. There's even I've been painting for a long time, I'm still learning a lot about them as I go in on a daily basis. Communication effectively and professionally with classmates and teachers is workplace readiness skill, and be reliable and punctual is very important as well.
Yeah, so you can see we kinda, hone in on some key skills that a student needs to work on in order to meet their goal, and so we create this document at the, beginning of the program, and then we use it to check in with both the student and their family midway through the program and at the end of the program to see how we're doing to meet that goal, and midway through the program, if we find that the student might be struggling to meet some of those benchmarks, we might suggest might suggest that the student maybe amend their goal slightly or pivot slightly. So it's just a good organizational tool. Lastly, I wanted to point out, how do we actually monitor progress? Well, the IPS team takes tons of data on each student every
Mhm.
day, and then the student themselves conducts a self-assessment. And then these are some of the accommodations slash, things that make IPS unique that we offer students. Renee mentioned how there is intervention time. We actually offer, sort of like free afternoons on Fridays. What we call it independent study. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we purposely left that open Fridays during the program so that Renee or the special education teacher can take students one-on-one to help them understand, maybe concepts that they struggled with during the school week. And Renee can offer one-on-one lessons on painting techniques, just any one-on-one lessons that the student would benefit from. And then things that we do at IPS to improve their workplace readiness skills. I think I mentioned role plays and scripts, and then things to help with organization, teacher prompting, detailed visual schedules, and then alarms. So pretty typical stuff that you might see in, other schools. So that is the end of our program. I'm going to leave this slide up because it has our contact information on it. Please reach out to us if we can help answer questions about this program and, find out more about, particular training for particular career goals, that sort of thing. But we're really excited to tell you about this program.
Yay.
Thank you. How many people are enrolled in the program, right?
We're still trying to find students. We only have 2 students right now, and we have 3 to 4 more spots available. So we're actively recruiting students currently.
Great. And it's located in
We are in Arlington. We're actually right near in Crystal City, so right near Reagan Airport, actually.
okay.
Down there.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, I'm just so curious, how did you think of this idea?
Well, during COVID, I had to quit my job. Um, Caroline, I used to work for an autism nonprofit, and I used to help autistic adults with their job searches. But when we went into lockdown and school went virtual, my own son Dylan needed a lot of support, so I had to initially take a sabbatical, and then I ended up quitting. Um, and at that time, I was really concerned about my own son and his career prospects because I always thought that maybe he'd go into culinary, like maybe he'd work at a coffee shop. He loves to bake. And so I kind of thought maybe that would be a good, line of work for him. But when all the restaurants shut down during COVID, I thought that was really not stable for him.
Mm.
So I wanted to create something that would provide pandemic proof, recession proof jobs for
Right.
our population of students. And construction, anything in the skilled trades is just that.
Right, right.
Renee never stopped working. You can ask him.
Yeah.
So I offers stability. And then I also thought for Dylan, for my son, it has a lower social and communication barrier. I thought I could find opportunities where, Dylan could be a helper and he reports to one supervisor. And, he has part-time hours and he does certain tasks, on repeat because he likes that sort of thing. So I just
Right.
saw a lot of synergy there. And then the last thing is that the construction industry is in severe need of a new talent pipeline. There's just not enough people who go into the trades these days in this area in particular. So I just saw an opportunity there, and I have actually been validated on that by the construction industry.
Yeah, that's great. And how did you find Renee? Oh.
Oh, I found him through the grace of God, but no, through a friend. Through a
Okay, yeah,
Yes,
that's great. No,
yeah.
that is incredible. I love this because
Thank
it
you.
is so unique,
Thank you.
and
Yes.
yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anyone
You-
else have any more questions? Leo, do you have any questions?
I do. What is the
Oh,
cost of the program, and do you accept funds from, DARS or some other uh, county monies or for the
yeah.
students?
Caroline, I'll be honest, DARS, I've talked to DARS many times about becoming an employment service organization. Unfortunately, we are not accredited yet. They want to see a couple of years worth of our outcomes. Nothing like IPS exists in the country. And because of that, DARS really, wants to see how our students fare before allowing us to become an accredited provider through them. Our students previously who attended our workshops were able to use self-directed services funding through the Community Services Board, but they only fund career exploration. Unfortunately, they do not fund actual career training. So, unfortunately, I am not able to we're not in the position yet where unfortunately we can help students secure funding other than helping direct them to scholarships. We are able to accept 529 able accounts as a source of tuition, but the tuition for this program is 17,000. It's a 5-month program, and we got a corporate sponsor who helped lower the cost of tuition. I don't make any money, I'll be completely honest with you, but our tuition only covers 60% of our budget because we have such a salary heavy budget because we want to provide a low teacher to student ratio.
Okay.
So I hope that answered your question. It was very long-winded. I apologize.
Oh, it did.
Well, thank you so much. I'm sure, I'm sorry not everyone got on the call, but I'm hoping by sharing the recording, they'll get the
I
very
appreciate
helpful information.
Yeah, and please feel free to include my contact information if people would like to contact me for about questions.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. I'll stop recording.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.